Hi Cancer, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So as you can see, I am behind the camera, and that is because I have something very important to do. I have somewhere very important to be, and I just could not set up my regular setup for the reading. So I do apologize, but I hope this is okay. And I also want to apologize for your reading being last. I did not forget about you. Cancers are actually one of my favorite signs. My sister is a Cancer, my sister Juju, and then my sister Aisha is a Cancer Venus, and she is actually going to have a baby today. So that is why I said I have somewhere very important that I need to be, but I wanted to give this Cancer reading up. So you guys are definitely my faves. One thing that I love about Cancers is that maternal energy that they naturally have. When Cancers are evolved and when they're at their best, there are no better mothers than a Cancer, and that goes for Cancer men too. They just have a very maternal energy. There are a lot of signs that even when they are evolved and at their best, they still don't have that loving maternal energy like a Cancer does. So you guys are a very, very important sign. Just had to throw that out there because I didn't want you to think that I put you last because I don't like Cancers or something like that. You're actually my favorite signs. Okay, so let's jump into the reading. So in the top, on the top row, we have the past, and on the left, it is the past energy surrounding your situation, and then the two cards on the top right is your outside energy. So I feel like in the past you were dealing with a soulmate, with this Lover's card being here and with the Hermit card being in reverse. I feel like you may have separated from this person, or this person may have retreated from you. Could be someone who is somewhat conflict avoidant, and they really do not like having to deal with or face any issues, and a lot of issues do come up in a soulmate cycle with this Lover's card being here. A lot of the times you will meet someone who will show you a side of yourself that you rather not see, and that's the point of soulmate relationships. They're designed specifically for you to see things within yourself, and for you to heal those things within yourself. So sometimes one person or both people involved can get a little bit afraid of the connection, or can be a little bit ashamed of the things that come to the surface through this connection. So I feel like one person, or both people, could have retreated from the connection, not really wanting to face themselves, or not really wanting to face, pretty much facing their own reflection. So the the Eight of Cups is there in the reverse, and also the Queen of Wands. So that's the outside energy. So I feel like the person that you were dealing with could have possibly been a fire sign. They also could have been a Virgo with that Hermit card there. But I feel like that Queen of Wands is also talking about some type of confrontation that may have happened between you two. So there could have been something that that person did that really pissed you off, and there was some type of argument that took place, and instead of dealing with that energy head on, or dealing with the issue head on, that person could have retreated from you. Sometimes the Hermit card talks about possible ghosting. And with the Nine of Cups in reverse, I feel like the fantasy or the illusion of who that person was kind of came crashing down. It's like really being hit with the reality of a situation, because you never really know someone until you go through some type of rough patch with them, or some type of conflict with them, and seeing how they respond to that conflict is what is going to kind of open your eyes to the type of person that they really are. For those of you who this wasn't a love relationship, I feel like this very well could be you kind of digging deep into yourself, meaning that you're on like a soul journey, or you're on some type of spiritual journey where you're really getting to know yourself, really starting to take your healing work a bit more seriously. But it looks like you may need to be careful, because the Hermit card talks about isolation. So it could very well be that you're working on yourself, or you're wanting to improve yourself, but it's getting to the point where you are isolating yourself away from people, is what I'm seeing. It's like you're isolating yourself to the point where it can start to become unhealthy. So be very careful with that. When we're on like a spiritual journey, or when we're trying to improve ourselves on a spiritual level, sometimes it can be our natural reaction to isolate, because we don't really connect to people the way that we used to. We don't really want to be around people's energy, because sometimes we become very sensitive to energy when we're on this journey, and we don't want to absorb anyone's negative energy. But you still need social interaction. Being a human, we still are social beings, so you still need social interaction. So there may be a need for you to try to interact with people who have a positive energy or with people who have similar mindset as you. But some of you could have realized this already because this is in the past. So if you've been Okay, loud truck going by. So if you've been feeling just a lot of pent up energy in the past, or you felt like this sense of feeling kind of drained, or just feeling like very sluggish, it very well could be that you were needing social interaction, because that can actually happen when you isolate yourself a little bit too much. But the Lovers card being here is a good thing, because that means that a lot of you are definitely getting to love yourself and starting to actually like yourself and like your own company. So that is the past energy. Now in the present, we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Moon card, which is the middle row. So I feel like as of right now in the present, a lot of you are thinking about a commitment or thinking about your future long term with the Hierophant being here. I feel like a lot of you, for some of you, you could have met someone new with this Ace of Cups, and you're thinking that this person could be someone you could spend a very long time with, but it could be something about this person that you are still kind of skeptical about, or you're still not seeing. This could also talk about some of you who are, like I said, in a new relationship or met someone new, and your past is still kind of keeping you stuck, or your past is still kind of interfering in your current connection. Because once you've been through a very difficult soulmate cycle, and then you start to date again, and you start to want to meet new people again, that soulmate cycle is still very much stuck in your head, because now it's like you're noticing a lot of red flags that you never noticed before, because of the amount of growth that you have had, and the amount of realizations that you have had, and also the amount of pain that you have had can kind of make you feel a bit paranoid. So for some of you, you are going through that. For those of you who that does apply to, I feel like the advice would be to get to know people very, very slowly, to not idealize them, meaning don't put them up on a pedestal, or don't project who you think they are or who you want them to be onto them. Make sure that you are staying very grounded and being very realistic as you start to meet people and as you start to date, because then it's like you will truly get to know the person inside and out if you take things very slowly, without becoming overly attached to them, or without picturing in your mind who you want them to be and getting attached to that image. So I feel like that's a way that you can kind of battle this sense of paranoia that you may have when it comes to starting a new relationship. For some of you, you are just really starting to mold yourself, or mold who you are and who you are becoming, like stepping away from who people think that you are. And it's like, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. It's like you've been a certain way for a very long time, and so therefore people see you as a certain way. Like, for example, if you're someone who's very shy, people could see you and label you as, oh, that's that person that's very shy, like she's always very shy. But it's like you don't want to fit into a box anymore. It's like you have expanded so much, and you've grown so much as a person through this past cycle, that you no longer want to be put in a box, or it's like you no longer want to identify with the past version of yourself. And that is a very positive thing. And one thing that a lot of people make a mistake with is that they feel like they have to live up to or be what people see them as, and that's what keeps a lot of people stuck. It's like once a large group of people label you as something, and they see you as that specific something, a lot of people don't want to step outside of that, because then they think they'll be seen as a phony or as a fake. But really, it's not anything phony or fake about it. The things that you go through in life are going to shift your mind and shift the way that you see life, and shift the way that you want to behave. So you have every right to reinvent yourself. It's not about being fake or about being something that you're not. It's about turning into a new version of yourself. And personality is very fluid. Personality is not something that's set in stone. So you can literally be whoever you want to be. If you repeat behaviors and thoughts enough, you actually become that. So don't be afraid to step outside of the box just because you've been one way for a very long time. You easily can hit the reset button and start over. And I feel like that's what a lot of you are going to be aiming for. Trying to see if there's anything else I'm getting with that present energy. For some of you, you could be some type of teacher, is what I'm seeing with the Hierophant being in the center. You could be some type of teacher or spiritual leader, or it could be that you are just someone who a lot of people go to for advice. So some of you could be thinking about turning that into a business, or really profiting off of that. And I feel like that would be something that is very beneficial to you, or it's something that would be very prosperous for you. So you may want to take that into consideration. This moon card being here, I just feel like there is this moon card is representing transformation for sure. Usually the moon card can talk about secrets or things that you're not seeing, but to me in this reading, I'm reading it as transformation, like a new beginning, a new you. Like I said before, some of you it's a new relationship, with some of you it's just you really stepping into your power and becoming the person who you want to be and not who everyone else wants you to be. So in the future, we have the Two of Swords, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Judgment card. So this Four of Cups being in the reverse, very positive, because that means that the past is finally going to be falling away from you. You're no longer going to be stuck and fixated on the past like you once were. I feel like this energy is just going to naturally die down. It's going to happen gradually to the point where you're not going to notice it, because I feel like some of you have been in a situation where it's been quite repetitive, or it's just been where you were very fixated on the past because it's something that you really wanted at some point, especially with that Lover's card being there in the past. It's like really truly wanting this connection or wanting this job or wanting something to work out so badly, but really it was something that you had to experience to show you what you actually don't want and to show you the things that you don't deserve. If you were treated in a way that you feel is very harsh, or you feel like they did not value you the way that they should, it's like now you get to see firsthand the way in which you should not allow people to treat you. So I think it was definitely a wake-up call, and you were only fixated on it because of the attachment to it and because of you wanting something long-term with it, like you not wanting to let it go because it gave you some type of emotional fulfillment. And that energy is just going to start to fade away. Some of you, you've been praying for this energy to fade away because you are aware that being stuck in the past is actually keeping you from manifesting new things and new positive beginnings in your life. So you are finally going to get your prayers answered, and you are going to move away from that past energy and being fixated on the past, so that new blessings and opportunities can come your way. With the Two of Swords being here, I do feel like you are opening up a door for a lot of new possibilities, and so you're needing to decide which direction you want to go in. So sometimes that can be a kind of a negative thing, only because sometimes when you have a decision to make and the Two of Swords comes up, that can be that could talk about you not knowing which choice to make, and so you kind of don't make a choice, or you act like you don't really have a choice to make. And that's very common, like when you have to make life choices that are quite big and they will change the course of your life. Sometimes it's easier to just not make a decision at all. But I feel like this Two of Swords is a good thing. It's like you have a lot of opportunities that are opening up for you simply because you're letting go of past energy. So in the near future, you're going to need to really get balanced and really center yourself, so that then you can make the right decision, because the Judgment card is here in the reverse, and that is coming up under the Moon card. So that is just saying that in the future, with whatever decision you have to make, you will only make the wrong decision if you are making it from a place of pure emotion. How do I put that? I'm trying to figure out how to put this the right way, because you do have to use your emotions to make decisions, because your intuition is it comes through your heart space. So you do have to be connected to your emotions in order to get that higher guidance. But sometimes it's like our emotions can bring unnecessary fears. That's what I'm hearing. Unnecessary fears. Fears from things that have happened in your past, and just a lot of just thinking about past situations that have gone wrong, and so therefore you feel kind of frozen, or you feel kind of stuck, because you think if you take a leap of faith, it's just going to end up exactly how it was in the past. And you need not look at your future decisions that way, because you've grown and learned so much from the past that there's really no way that you could repeat the past. A lot of people are always afraid of being stuck, or not being able to or just going backwards. I mean, when it comes to their growth, they don't want to make a decision that's going to knock them 10 steps back. But that's really not possible, because you've been through so much. There's no way that you can get knocked 10 steps back, because you know too much now. Like, you've grown too much, you've seen too much. There's really no way you can go back to being the person who you once were, or making mistakes that you once made, because you are too knowledgeable now because of your experience. So I feel like if you let your fears guide you, then you're going to not make the right decision, or not make the right calls when it comes to your life, whether that be, you know, an important decision about a job, or just about your path, possibly about a new love, just in general. There's going to be an important decision that you are being called to make about your life. And make sure that you are centered, make sure that you are balanced, make sure that you're not operating from a place of fear. If you can, make sure that you are meditating every day, because that's going to help you to get those answers through your intuition instead of it coming through your fears in your logical mind. So I think that that is it. Cancer. I'm trying to figure out if any other messages are coming through. Nope, I think that that's it. So it looks like as long as you, like I said, are keeping yourself centered and balanced and quieting your mind and having peace of mind, then your intuition will guide you in the direction that you need to go in. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to do an extended video. I'll leave the link to that down below, and it'll be your 2019 energy reading, where basically I just give you tips on what to do this year in order for you to have the most successful year possible. And God, these trucks keep going by. And also I'll be telling you like the blockages that you need to avoid in order for you to not become stuck in another repetitive cycle this year. So again, that will be in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you over on my Vimeo channel. Bye.